Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And earlier this year, well, basically the first week of January, I was thinking about what movies that I want to rewatch and do reviews for that are that I've yet to do on this channel. Of course, I will definitely do a lot of the new movies that are coming out. I'm eagerly waiting for some of them that I haven't watched towards the latter half of 2022. So I was looking for what franchises that I do want to do reviews for that are still missing from my channel. I haven't done any of the Star Trek movies for the channel. I haven't done Star Wars, haven't done Indiana Jones, the 4 movies of Indiana Jones. There's the 5th one coming out, so I want to try and do those before the 5th one comes out, and then do the 5th one once I watch it. So I think those will definitely be in the list. The all the Batman movies, all the Superman movies, haven't done those either. Yeah, so a lot of stuff that I do want to rewatch, um, do reviews for. They will definitely be on the pipeline. But I think everybody knows that Brendan Fraser is of course back. He is right where he belongs. He has got awards and nominations that's coming up. Hopefully he wins the Oscar. So today is the 28th of January. Sorry, actually that was 27th. It's the 28th of January. So I don't know when exactly is I think it's in March, maybe 1st of March. So I watch that, follow it, and I hope he really wins. That's one of the movie that I really want to watch. But whenever it gets released for either streaming services or DVD, I'll definitely try and watch it. Excuse me. But of course, since I'm talking about Brendan Fraser, I want to do reviews of all his movies as well. So I did do a couple of them. This one is, of course, as you can see from the title, The Mummy. Came out in 1999, reimagining of the 1932 film of the same name. This one starring, along with Brendan Fraser, you've got the lovely Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, and Arnold Vosloo, who plays the mummy character. And you also have the Israeli guy, I keep forgetting his name. Oded Fair, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Jonathan Hyde, Kevin J. O'Connor was hilarious as Benny, and in a very small role you also have Omid Jalili, who is a British comedian. So, the Anak Sunamun is played by Patricia Velasquez, which is not even Arab, or yeah. Anyway, nostalgia reasons for a lot of people. This is probably Brendan Fraser at his peak. For me, of course, my favorite movie of Brendan Fraser, and the one that I see him always as, is Encino Man. But there's a lot of good movies of his. One such is this one, The Mummy, and probably is my second favorite of his movies. I have got to do a top 11 for my blog sometime soon. But yeah, I remember all the hype around this movie, and it was well worth it. It was an excellent, and it still stands the test of time all these years later. What is it, 24 years almost? He plays Rick O'Connell, who is a adventurer, an American who is working for who is signed up to the French Foreign Legion in Egypt, and he is asked to travel to Hamunaptra, which is the fabled city of the dead, with Rachel Weisz's character and her older brother, who is played by John Hannah, because he has found this place which is supposed to be mythical. Like I said, the hype around this movie, I remember, I don't know about other places, I'm pretty sure it was, I didn't have access to the internet as much as didn't have the access to the internet at the time. But I do remember it was a big deal here where I live in Cochin, Kerala. I don't know about the rest of Kerala, but I'm pretty sure it was the same. This movie did really well in the theaters in India, especially in my state. So much so that when the sequel was releasing, I think a couple of years later, The Mummy Returns, they had a whole, on cable TV and on some other stuff, they had publicized it quite a bit. I know a lot of people parody events all happening around The Mummy Returns. Sorry. Awesome. I really like this movie quite a lot. Um, so yeah, basically the reason why this mummy is the mummy is because he was the high priest rather, Imhotep, who had an affair with the mistress of Pharaoh Seti the First. Her name is Anck-su-namun, and when they are discovered, the Pharaoh comes to confront them, but he is killed uh, by Imhotep, and then Anck-su-namun, they are caught by the king's guards, and therefore she kills herself in order to escape punishment, knowing fully well that Imhotep, would be able to resurrect her. However, while he's trying to do the ceremony to resurrect her soul back into her body, they are caught by the pharaoh's bodyguards. They they put her into a I don't know, some kind of um, a tomb kind of stuff, and then they put they cut off Imhotep's tongue, and they put him into this sarcophagus at the feet of the statue of the Egyptian god Anubis, and they fill his, once they mummify him, they fill his sarcophagus with, this is the part that really creeped me out the first time I watched it, flesh-eating scarab beetles, and then they locked him in. There's a myth about the curse of Imhotep. If he ever gets out, if he's ever discovered, if he ever comes out, he is going to rain havoc all over Egypt, and he is going to destroy most of it and take over and rule the land. So there is this group called the Magi who are sworn to protect Imhotep's return, and that's when they see that Rick O'Connell and the character played by Rachel Weisz is called Evelyn. She's a librarian and she's an Egyptologist as well. So she and her brother decide to go and find Amunatra because they find a map that leads to the mythical land. Rick O'Connell has been there, so they strike a deal with him. They go there, but there's another group of Americans who are there, treasure hunters, and they're led by Rick O'Connell's cowardly former friend and team member, Benny Gabor, played hilariously, like I mentioned earlier. And they end up awakening the mummy because Evelyn finds the book of Amun-Ra. She reads it, and have and see. So it's up to Rick and Jonathan, who's played by John Hannah, to rescue Evelyn when she's captured later on, and pretty awesome stuff happens. And the best part of the movie is, I suppose, the fight scenes are pretty awesome. There's a little bit of humor put in there, and that it's a fun movie. Benny gets his due because in the end he is caught in when the caves collapse, and he is eaten alive by those scarab beetles. And of course, all's well that ends well. You also have in the movie Jonathan Hyde, I think, did I mention his name? Eric Kavari, who is an Indian actor. Originally he was from India, moved to the United States. Plays all these different type of characters, like he plays Egyptians, he plays Indians, of course he is a Parsi Zoroastrian, and he plays people of different ethnicities. Alright, he plays something like 23 ethnicities. Anyone else? Yeah, that's about it. So Bernard Fox, fun character. He plays Captain Winston Havelock of the, I think formerly of the British Army, Air Force, I guess, and he gets killed towards the end of the movie. Fun film, amazing cast. It's definitely one that you can keep watching multiple times. I think I've seen this movie 10, 12 times, I guess. Still enjoyable watching this afternoon. Still as enjoyable as ever. I'm not sure if I actually watched this movie in the theater, but it could be. Yeah. So, rating, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for fun. Probably 8 out of 10 is more likely, but because of the nostalgia factor, the feel-good factor about Brendan Fraser, and the fact that this movie is still awesome as ever. 9 out of 10. Thank you.